Hello friends, let's discuss current affairs. The first question relates to the presence of Indians around the world. Which country secured the top spot as the leading employer of Indian expatriates with an impressive figure of about 3.5 million? As we know, a million equals 10 lakhs, so that's 35 lakh Indians who currently working within its borders. The answers listed there. So, it says that it's a leading employer of Indian expatriates. But while we have the number there for the UAE, United Arab Emirates, this is for the number of people who are employed there. But if you look at the number of people, number of Indians who live abroad, which country has the most number of Indians living in that nation? Well, the United States has about 45 lakh people living within its border, 45 lakh Indians living within its borders. So I'll give you a list of the top three countries, which have the highest number of Indians living there. So you could start with, you could simply use the term Indian diaspora, DIASPORA, diaspora. So what is diaspora? It's a spread or presence of, Indians, for that matter, any countries, people, citizens living abroad. Now, this is actually a Jewish term. This is not to be used, should not be used for any other group except for the Jewish folks. The Jewish folks have had presence around the world, especially before the creation of Israel in 1948. So we have had the Jewish diaspora, majority of who were in Europe, and then of course the United States. But then nowadays the term diaspora relates to any kind of grouping that lives abroad, not within its motherland. So if you look at the Indian diaspora, that totals 32 million 32 million people. So a total of 3.2 crore Indians live abroad. 3.2 crore Indians. The highest is in the US, 45 lakhs. 1. United States, 45 lakhs. 2. The Kingdom of Saudi Arabia, 41 lakhs. 3.55 million or 35.5 lakh in the United Arab Emirates. 4th, you would be surprised that you would find about 30 lakh Indians in Malaysia. 4, Malaysia. And 5th, surprise, it's Myanmar on India's east. Okay. So there we go, guys. The top 5 countries with the presence of Indians within their borders. 1, United States, 45 lakh. 2, Saudi Arabia, 41 lakhs. 3, United Arab Emirates, about 35.5 lakh. 4 would be Malaysia, 30 lakhs. 5, Myanmar, as I mentioned earlier. Myanmar is home to about 20 lakh Indians. Okay. I mean, Indians are there everywhere. They say, "Jahan na pahunche Belgadi, wahan pahunche Hindustani." Okay. Which of the following states launched India's first agriculture data exchange and agriculture data management framework? Telangana. Now, Telangana state launched these two, bodies in collaboration with the World Economic Forum and the Indian Institute of Science. So, two bodies collaborated with Telangana government. One would be the Indian Institute of Science, Bengaluru, and 2 is the World Economic Forum, which is a Switzerland-based NGO, you could say. Yeah, it's more of a think tank. Now, the basic idea behind these two bodies is to promote data sharing between government agencies on one side, or maybe you could say between government agencies, government departments, government we have NGOs and we have universities. So it's more to do with research orientation. Okay. As you know, Telangana is India's newest state. It was formed on the 2nd of June 2005. Yeah. So we have had Telangana. 2004. So Telangana state is India's newest state, my friends. Fair? Identify the correct statements about Bindeshwar Pathak, who passed away recently. That's Bindeshwar Pathak's photo there. He was the guy who founded Sulabh International in 1970. 1970. Please appreciate the fact that he is also nicknamed the father of the Indian sanitation revolution. The father of Indian sanitation revolution. You know, Bindeshwar Pathak is a PhD. He did a PhD, and of course, he did this PhD from the University of Patna, I guess. And he's also the author of a couple of books. Like one book is titled "The Road to Freedom." The Road to Freedom. While the second book is "The Making of a Legend," which is a book he wrote on Prime Minister Modi. Okay, the making of a legend. Now he has won practically every award, every major award except the Nobel Peace Prize, and you would find that he is the winner of, apart from the prizes mentioned here, he is a winner of prizes like Nikkei Asia Prize. You know, he won the Padma Bhushan. It's mentioned there actually. Surprisingly, I thought I skipped that, so I kept in mind that he won the Padma Bhushan way back in 1991. Okay, so Sulabh International, to speak about Sulabh International, these are more of paying use toilets. See, for millions of Indians, toilets are a fact of life. You know, we have a home, we have a toilet. I mean, that's about it. You don't think about it. Okay, you use it for defecation, you use it for answering nature's calls and all. But for millions of Indians, there is no access to toilets. Before the current government's focus on building toilets for the masses had come about, Bindeshwar Pathak saw this way back in 1970s. So he started building toilets in slums, in places which are frequented by where most poor people lived. So he brought in this particular idea that if people could be encouraged to use toilets instead of defecating in the open, it would lead to it would decrease the incidence of disease, the vulnerability of women folk to violence, so many things, my friends. So only people who are enlightened, people who think of the society, people who are far-sighted think like this, and they actually do something like this, and this is what it built, Sulabh International. Okay. In which city did the Bharat Utsav program start with an aim to showcase the Indian culture and commemorate Indian independence? Well, it's there, and what are the choices here? See, the idea is this is more of a private program, less to do with the government of India and more to do with the private program. Dubai is probably the largest city in the United Arab Emirates. It's not its capital. The capital of the United Arab Emirates is Abu Dhabi. Okay. Ankara is, we will just look at where we find these places. Ankara is in Turkey, Turkye, Turkey. Turkey changed its name to Turkey. Okay, so Ankara, Turkey. Yerevan, Armenia, 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 Armenia. Manama, it's the capital of Bahrain, Bahrain. I repeat, Bahrain, Bahrain. Beirut, the capital of Lebanon, Lebanon, Lebanon. So Turkey, Armenia, 4 Manama, Bahrain, 5 Beirut, Lebanon. As on 17th August 2023, the death toll in the firestorm that destroyed Hawaii's Mau Island, this is Mau Island, you can see here, reached 106. 1,300 people still missing. Now, if people are missing in such a small area, and considering that it was a major fire, it is feared that those people might have died. It's unfortunate, but that's more or less budgeting for the fact that yes, people would have died. It was a massive fire. I followed this entire incident, with great detail, my friends, with great attention, and I found that This was seriously bad. I have a couple of maps, more maps. This is one map. I want you to look at this. This is where Hawaii is. Okay, this is a state of the United States. These are 48 states of the United States, contiguous with continuous here, 48 here. Then you have in the top left corner, you have Alaska. Okay, this is Alaska and this is Hawaii. Fair? If you would want to write a bit about Hawaii, I could tell you, underline the word Hawaii, Hawaii, and start with this first point. 3,200 kilometers from mainland US. 3,200 kilometers, 3,200 kilometers away from mainland US. Next. 137 volcanic islands. See all this. You can see here. There are 137 volcanic islands. These are all volcanic origin. Next. Capital Honolulu. 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 Next. 1778 dash discovered by James Cook. James Cook, C-O-O-K, James Cook. Who is Brit? James Cook. See now, at the time James Cook came, he is said to be probably the first non-Polynesian. The people who live in this area are called Polynesian. Okay, ethnically they are Polynesian. So he was said to be the first non-Polynesian to visit these places, and that was 1778. And slowly later the British came, occupied these islands and all. So between 1778 and 1890, that's in about 100 years, a little over 100 years, the population of the Polynesian natives, the locals here, came down from 1 million, that is 10 lakh, to just about 40,000. You heard it right. From 10 lakh, the population came down to 40,000. That's how cruel the British were to the people in these islands. The Brits destroyed these islands systematically. Yeah. You could also write annexed by US. Annexed, A-N-N-E-X-E-D. Annexed by US in 1898. In 1898. 1898. You must have heard of Pearl Harbor. There is a movie also, and the fact that the US entered the Second World War was because of the Japanese bombing of the Pearl Harbor, which was like, that took place on 7th December 1941. The Second World War broke out in September 1939. But only 2 years later, more than 2 years later, the Americans jumped in the war because an American naval base at Pearl Harbor was attacked. Now, how destructive was this wildfire in Hawaii? We don't know as to what caused the fire, but it was a major fire, my friends. And it happened in the dead of the night when people were asleep. See these red places? This is where the fires happened. And you please remember that this is a tourist town. Lahaina is a tourist area. A lot of foreigners come, a lot of Americans visit this place. How badly was it destroyed? See this entire town. You see, this is standing here. God bless, just one home standing. The rest of all completely burnt. You see these cars here? Completely burnt. The entire town was burnt, my friends. So when we say that this happened in the dead of the night and there was pretty little to escape from, very few escape routes, and the fact that this was a fast spreading fire, and given that about 1,300 are still missing, it could just be that they could have perished in this fire, my friends. Such a sad thing. Yeah. This is the ocean. You see, this is the ocean front. This is the ocean, the Pacific Ocean. Cars here, they're all burnt. It's complete, everything's burnt. See this, reduced to ashes. Okay. The construction of the India International Center for Buddhist Culture and Heritage is being built in Nepal. It's being built in Nepal. That's a map of Nepal, my friends. And the source is already mentioned here, so it's not mine. I have not stolen it. I've kept a source there. This is Kathmandu, the capital of Nepal. How big is Nepal? Nepal is about 1.47 lakh square kilometer big. 1.47 lakh. It's not a big country. But you look at the fact that 8 out of the 10 tallest peaks in the world are in Nepal. 8 of the 10 tallest peaks. You will find Dhaulagiri here. Yeah, you will find Manaslu here. Then you have Choyoyu, Mount Everest, Makalu, Lhotse, Nuptse. These are all over 8k meters. Tall, very tall. And Mount Everest, this is Mount Everest, yeah, it's on the border between China and Nepal. Okay, the southern face, if you take the southern face, Mount Everest, you start from Nepal, and if you go down from the north face, it will end up in China. Yes, on one side it's China. Let's say we are on the border. This is Mount Everest, Nepal. Let's say okay, we are looking from south now. Okay. So on one side, on the south is Nepal, on the north is China, Tibet, China. Who is the president and prime minister of Nepal? You could write this. President Ramchandra Poudel, Poudel, Poudel. Poudel, Poudel. Prime Minister Pushpa Kamal Dahal, Dahal, DHL. I mentioned the area, but you know what's the population? About 3 crore. Because it's pretty mountainous up there. You see this entire area, except for the Kathmandu Valley and Kathmandu area, other areas are pretty backward, very difficult, it will be to reach these kinds of places. They're all mountainous, Himalayan mountainous areas, inaccessible terrain, pretty difficult places to visit, friends. Yeah. Sri Lanka, Myanmar, Bhutan. Now, when we discuss this guy, I mentioned Bhutan is twice there. Anyway, there is an error. Bhutan's, you could write just about Bhutan. We have been discussing Nepal, Sri Lanka, and Myanmar for a long time. Yeah, across classes. Bhutan's capital is Thimphu, Thimpu, Thimphu. And it's a constitutional monarchy, so there's a Raja here whose name is Jigme Singye Wangchuk Namgyal. Relax. So you should now just write the name of the Prime Minister. Lote, L-O-T-A-Y, Lote Shering, T-S-H-E-R-I-N-G. Lote Shering. Which bank partnered with Gujarat Cooperative Milk Marketing Federation, better known as Amul, to offer financial services to the Federation's Pan-India supply network under the Mudra scheme? You know, the Mudra scheme is Micro Units Development and Refinance Agency. You could write this. Micro Units Development and Refinancing Agency. Under this scheme, 3 kinds of loans are given. Okay, you have Sishu, wherein the loan amount is up to 50,000. Then there is Tarun, between 50,000 and 5 lakhs, and any loan above 5 lakhs, basically 5 to 10 lakhs is Kishore. Okay. Now, Amul's, how big is Amul? Amul's a 52,000 crore company. Last financial year, its turnover was 52,000 crore, 52,000 crore, my friends. So it's not a gully corner dairy. It's a huge company, my friends. Okay. Now, Punjab National Bank has agreed to provide, Amul's network with Paisa so that they could expand. Punjab National Bank's CEO is Atul Kumar Goyal. Atul Kumar Goyal. Atul Kumar Goyal. Bank of Baroda. Debadatta Chand. Debadatta. Debadatta. Debadatta Chand. Chand. Debadatta Chand. You have Punjab National Bank. Punjab, yeah, look at choice B2. Punjab and Sindh Bank. Punjab and Sindh Bank CEO is Swarup Kumar Saha. Swarup Kumar Saha. State Bank of India, Dinesh Khara, Khara. The last one, Union Bank of India, A. Mani Mekhalai. A. Mani Mekhalai. And what about Amul's MD? JN, you could write JN, Jayen, JN Mehta, JN Mehta, Jayen, JN Mehta. Which of the following events are observed on 12th August? International Youth Day and World Elephant Day. Why not the third one? Because the third one is observed on August 14th. August 14th. On the intervening night of August 14th and 15th, the partition of India was, brought into effect. Pakistan became independent on 14th August. We became independent on 15th August, my friends. That's how it is. Okay? Partition was a terrible event, my friends. The Cauvery water sharing issue was in news recently. Which of the following states are associated? All of them. Yeah. Now, see, when the river starts, when there is, for example, there is this, it starts in Karnataka. This is a Cauvery coastline. Okay. This state is called Upper Riparian. Upper Riparian. 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 The state below the Upper Riparian would be Lower Riparian. Lower Riparian. 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 Okay. Now, 4 states are impacted by this, but I would like you to write a bit about the river Cauvery. There are 2 ways of writing the spelling. This is Cauvery, Cauvery. There is also in this map Kaveri. Both are fine. No issue. It's a proper noun, and proper nouns could be pronounced in the way you like, my friends. Okay? So you could write Cauvery, river Cauvery, underline that. Source, where does it start? Tala Cauvery, Talakaveri. Tala Cauvery, comma, Kodagu area, Kodagu, Kodagu, Kodagu area, comma, Karnataka, Kodagu area, Karnataka. Next, length 865 kilometers. 865 kilometers. Sorry. No, not 865. 865. Go that way. 805. I'm so sorry. 805. 805. I'm so sorry, my friends. Next. Nickname. Dakshin Ganga. Dakshin Ganga. Dakshin Ganga. Next. Shivananda Falls. Shivananda Falls. Falls. Shivananda Falls. So along this river you have a major waterfall. Shivananda Falls dash 91 meters dash here at Shivananda Falls, comma, Asia's first hydroelectric project was built. Asia's hydroelectric plant here. Asia's first hydroelectric plant was built in 1902. 1902. Next. water sharing dispute between these four states: Kerala, Karnataka, Tamil Nadu, Chennai. See, you may wonder, why is Kerala coming to this? Where is Pondicherry? This is Pondicherry. Okay, why are they coming to this? Because they come in the watershed area, the catchment area. Okay, so that's how it works. So, what is that? Dispute between four places. Next, water sharing dispute started in 1807, when the Madras government under the British, Madras government objected to the irrigation projects of Mysore state. Next, the central government set up the Cauvery Water Regulation Committee. Okay. This committee decides how much water should go to Karnataka, how much to Tamil Nadu, a little of it should also go to Kerala and Puducherry. Okay. Now I want you to write one more point. Mettur Dam, Mettur, METTUR, Mettur Dam and Krishna Raja Sagar Dam, built along Cauvery, including its tributaries. Okay, next. Name the first Indian space mission that will be launched by the Polar Satellite Launch Vehicle to study the sun. Aditya. Aditya means sun. Okay. So what is this L1 and all that? I'll explain this, but before that you write Aditya L1 dash to study solar atmosphere. Next, will be launched by PSLV. It's there on the slide there. PSLV dash XL. It's a slightly bigger rocket. PSLV XL or rather, if you want to be specific, on 2nd September 2023. Okay. Next, you look at the name L1, Aditya L1. What is the L? You could write this. Lagrange point. L in L1 stands for Lagrange. Lagrange. Lagrange point. Lagrange point dash. At this point, comma, the gravitational pulse or gravitational force of two large bodies, and centrifugal force balance each other, dash, thus making it an excellent location for spacecraft and satellite to maintain desired orbit, desired, DESIRED, desired orbit. So it's named after a scientist, Joseph Louis Lagrange. Don't write that. You know, there is centrifugal force and there is gravitational force of two bodies. So at some point, they will cancel each other out by balancing, and thereby, you know, the satellite, the spacecraft that moves through will not fall off the orbit. Got the idea? Yeah. On the eve of the 77th Independence Day celebrations, Prime Minister Narendra Modi announced the Vishwakarma Yojana, whom the following are the targeted beneficiaries of the scheme. All of them, my friends, all of them. If you want to write, you could write Vishwakarma Yojana, underline that. Underline that, first point. Budget dash 15,000 crore over 5 years. 15,000 crore over 5 years. Next. Upliftment of, aim is to upliftment of those engaged in traditional craftsmanship, CRAFTSmanship, craftsmanship. Okay. Next. Beneficiaries get collateral free or security free loans at very low rates of interest, Last point. Rupees 500 stipend is given for skill training, and 1500 rupees or rupees 1500 for buying tools, TOOLS, tools. Okay. Stephen Finn, who announced retirement from all forms of international cricket, he's just left cricket, my friends. He announced retirement and all that. He was an English guy. He played, if I'm not wrong, he played some 36 test matches and about 160 or 169 one-day matches. Not a great Shakes performer, but yeah, middle-rung performer. He has had a major health issue, especially with regard to his knee and everything. Since last season, he has been sitting out of the many series that had happened, including the Ashes. Okay, there's not much to discuss here. Identify the correct statements regarding the Padma Bhushan, N. Vittal, Nagarajan Vittal. N ante Nagarajan Vittal. He initiated the process of liberalization. Yes. He was an architect of India's IT sector. Yes. He played a major role in getting the National Telecom Policy 94 approved. Yes. Through this telecom policy, foreign participation was allowed. Okay, let me take you to a little more. See, he was the Chief Vigilance Commissioner. Nagarajan Vittal was also the Chief Vigilance Commissioner of India. He was an IAS officer. He belonged to the Gujarat cadre. He received the Padma Bhushan in 2012. 2012. Which of the following pairs is correctly matched? All of them are correctly matched, but you should know that the first one, Bharatiya Nyaya Sanhita Bill, basically, Indian Penal Code. Now, what is the Indian Penal Code? Indian Penal Code is, Indian Penal Code is about crimes that are punishable, basically. Okay, you could simply write principal law. Indian Penal Code is principal law on criminal offences. Principal law on criminal offences. There are plenty of things. New changes have been brought on. See, the 1860 law was still being followed, my friends. There's not much to discuss here. India's first unmanned aerial systems common testing center will be established in Sri Perumbudur, a place near Sri Perumbudur, Tamil Nadu. Sri Perumbudur. SRIPERUMBEDUR. Sri Perumbudur. Sri Perumbudur. That's also the place where the former Prime Minister of India, Rajiv Gandhi, was killed. Sri Perumbudur. 21st, it was 21st May 1991, I think, when he was killed. So, you have this drone testing center in Sri Perumbudur, Tamil Nadu. Which city will host the 2023 FIDE World Chess Championship? This will be Baku. This is Baku. In fact, the news has already come that the 2023 World Cup final was played between Magnus Carlsen, the world number 1, and Ramesh Babu Pragnananda. Ramesh Babu Pragnananda. Pragnananda is his first name. Among Tamils, I think if I'm not wrong, correct me if I'm wrong, you could always leave feedback. The father's name comes first. So when you say Ramesh Babu Pragnananda, this chap's, our tennis superstar's name is Pragnananda, okay? But his father's name is Ramesh Babu, okay? So you could write this 2023 FIDE World Chess Championship, underline that, winner Magnus Carlsen, CARLSEN, Carlsen. Runner-up Ramesh Babu Pragnananda. Third place Fabiana Caruana. Fabiana Fabiana Caruana. Caruana. United States. He's from the US. Okay. Now, the top 3 winners of the top 3 in the medals tally here at the chess championship would gain direct entry to the candidates tournament to be held next year. Candidates tournament. But most likely Magnus Carlsen may opt out because he says, I think it's too much of a hassle to think so much for a classical game. A classical game is a long drawn game kind of thing. So he said that I may not participate, failing which a guy called Nijat Abasov from Azerbaijan would, replace Carlsen. So top 3 we said, who would be the top 3? Carlsen, Pragnananda and, Caruana. Now, Carlsen may not play. So number 2, our Pragnananda, Prague as is called, has made it to the candidates tournament. Next, our this chap, what's his name? Fabiana Caruana has anyway come. Now, since Carlsen won't come, the 4th place guy in this tournament will enter. Who's the 4th place guy? Nijat Abasov. You could write Nijot. Nijat Abasav, ABASOB, Abasav of Azerbaijan. It's here in the map. Azerbaijan. Okay. Yeah. As you know, Stockholm is the capital of Sweden. Ankara, we know. Baku, Azerbaijan. See, this is Yerevan. A while ago we mentioned this. Yerevan, capital of Armenia. Okay. There's a river here called Don. Who of the following persons is founder and editor-in-chief of NewsClick? Pravin Togadia basically had been accused by the government of India for promoting Chinese interests. You know, the Chinese government, this entire thing came after the enforcement directorate raided certain households, certain offices, and they found certain incriminating material about Pravin Togadia and his associates. Pravin is said to have taken 38 crores from NewsClick, lots of crores, you could say, tens of crores, to speak right in favor of China. Yes, it's, you know, people narrate, people control the narrative as to how the world looks at. Okay, now it's very important for us to understand that. We are careful as to who we read. Now it's very difficult to know who should you trust. But communist newspapers usually, like the Telegraph, the Hindu is a leftist kind of thing. They all have a bent of mind that is anti-America, anti-conservatives usually. So most of their writings are anti-BJP and all these things. So you should be very careful as to what you read. Everything is biased. All mediums are biased. Medium is singular. Media is media is plural. So when we're talking about media being singular and medium being plural, you need to understand that if you watch Times Now, you will have it a pro, government stand. If you watch Republic TV, you would know that the guy is basically, it's run by the BJP, pro BJP. So always be careful as to what you're reading. Read, but don't get carried away. Don't take that as the only truth. Basically. There are multiple variants of the truth. As I say, the world is not black and white, and I believe the world is not black and white. I believe the world is a very colorful place with 50 shades of grey. Okay. So this guy, he has vehemently denied that he is, carried any paid news from China. But, not just him. Tissa Setalwal, social activist, self-declared social activist. And she had been, cases have been filed against her under, direction of the Supreme Court. And that she had eaten away money of people, riot victims and all. Her husband is Javed Anand. Against him also, the enforcement directorate found evidence that he had been paid by the Chinese government, not directly by the Chinese government. There is a guy called Neville Roy Singham. He lives in China, and he is said to pay NewsClick 38 crores. Javed Anand has been paid about 12 lakh rupees. Tissa Setalwal's daughter Tamara had been paid. I have followed this story with great interest, my friends. Okay. So these guys may deny, but it's an open secret around the world that paid reviews come, basically. Yeah. So you have Pravir there. Which airline recently unveiled a brand new identity and aircraft livery? Livery is the entire set of designs on the aircraft, the name, the design and everything. Okay, named the Vista. This is Air India, my friends. Air India. They have come up with this entire new thing. See this below the body. This is this area, this part, without the wings, the tail, the engine, everything is called the fuselage. What is it called? Fuselage. This part. fuselage. And you need to appreciate the fact that Air India is now a private company, and its CEO is Campbell Wilson, Campbell Campbell Wilson, Wilson, Wilson. Okay. Jet Airways most likely may not take off, though there have been talks of its revival. Things haven't gone well, basically, for the company. Indigo is run by a company called Interglobe. SpiceJet, it's owned by Ajay Singh. Go First is airline company of the Wadia Group, WADIA, Wadia Group. Identify the correct statements about the recently launched INS Vidyagiri. Okay, it's all mentioned here. I'll give you more points. You could write this. Nilgiri class frigate. Nilgiri class frigate. Nilgiri class frigate. That's point 1. Point 2. Named after Vindhyagiri mountain, Vindhyagiri hill in Karnataka. Vindhyagiri hill in Karnataka. Next, 7 ships in Nilgiri class. 7 ships in Nilgiri class. Nilgiri class. The names are, you could write dash, INS Nilgiri, comma. Now you can write INS before every name. Okay, INS Nilgiri. Next, Himagiri, INS Himagiri. Next, INS Taragiri, Taragiri, Taragiri. Next, INS Udaygiri. So we've got 4: Nilgiri, Himagiri, Taragiri, Udaygiri. 5, Dunagiri, Dunagiri, Dunagiri. Next, Vindhyagiri. So 6 ships have already been made. Okay, the 7th is under construction. You could write. And Mahendragiri. With state government recently launched a digital scheme named Gramin Mitra to provide doorstep delivery of government services across the state and promote digital empowerment. It's already mentioned there. So plenty of schemes like this everywhere. If you want to know the names of the chief ministers here, Haryana, with the lowest sex ratio in India, has a chief minister named Manohar Lal Khattar. Haryana, lowest sex ratio, Manohar Lal Khattar. And put dashes, okay, everywhere. Bihar, chief minister is Nitish Kumar. Extreme high density population. Then it's a top 3 actually, Bihar. Then Goa, India's smallest state by area. It's very small. 3,702 square kilometers. That would be very small. Goa. The capital is, the chief minister, Pramod Sawant, SAWANT, Sawant. Next, Himachal Pradesh. The chief minister is Sukhvinder Sukhu. Next, Uttarakhand, Pushkar Singh Dhami, DHAMI. Anwarul Haq Kakar was recently sworn in as a caretaker Prime Minister of Pakistan. He succeeded Shehbaz Sharif. Okay. Indonesia, the world's largest archipelago. Archipelago, as you know, is a group of islands. It has more than 17,000 islands. And Indonesia's president is Joko Widodo. Joko, J-O-K-O, Joko Widodo, W-I-D-O-D-O. Joko Widodo. Next, Maldives. Maldives, the president is Mohammed Ibrahim Soleh or Ibrahim Mohammed Soleh, S-O-L-E-H. Ibrahim Mohammed Soleh, S-O-L-E-H. Next, Malaysia Prime Minister Anwar Ibrahim. Anwar Ibrahim. Anwar Ibrahim. Next, Afghanistan President. Afghanistan doesn't have a president, doesn't have a full-time prime minister. It's an interim prime minister they have. But so let's write the name of the guy who really runs Afghanistan with an iron fist. His name is the chief of the chief of the Taliban, the head of the Taliban, Hibatullah Akhundzada. Hibatullah Akhundzada. A-K-H-U-N-D-Z-A-D-A. Hibatullah Akhundzada. The chairman emeritus of Tata Sons, Ratan Tata, was recently awarded the first ever Udyog Ratna by Maharashtra government. Maharashtra government. See, Ratan Tata studied BTech. He did his bachelor of, not BTech, he did a bachelor of architecture from Cornell University, one of the world's finest universities. And he started working for Tata Steel on the shop floor, Niche, at the bottom, in 1961. Under him, Tata Group expanded to have a global footprint. It bought the British tea brand Tetley. Tata Group bought Tetley. Tata Group bought Chorus British Steel Company, Jaguar Land Rover, so plenty of things basically. He is currently the chairman emeritus. You know, it's an honorary position, more of an honorary position. I think that should. He received Padma Bhushan in 2008, Padma Bhushan in 2000, and Padma Vibhushan in 2008. Gujarat Chief Minister is Bhupendra Patel. Bhupendra Patel. Gujarat Chief Minister Bhupendra Patel, who has been appointed the brand ambassador of BPCL, Bharat Petroleum Corporation Limited, India's second largest oil marketing company, OMC it's called, oil marketing company. Rahul Dravid, reliability, Rahul Dravid, who is the CEO of the chairperson and managing director of BPCL. G. Krishna Kumar, BPCL, G. Krishna Kumar. G. Krishna Kumar. The rest of the choices, I don't think we need to discuss anything over them. The Union Cabinet approved the mutual recognition arrangement of authorized economic cooperators between India and Australia. And what is this for? Basically to expedite, delivery of goods so that there is no, delay at the port. Basically, it helps promotion of trade, commerce, and all that stuff. Australia's Prime Minister is Anthony Albanese. Anthony Albanese, A-L-B-A-N-E-S-E. Albanese. Philippines, an archipelago. Its CEO is, president is Marcos Bongbong. You could write this. Bongbong. B-O-N-G, one word. Bongbong. Marcos, Bongbong, Marcos, M-A-R-C-O-S. M-A-R-C-O-S. Austria is a tiny country in the heart of Europe, my friends, east of Switzerland. Austria doesn't have a prime minister, they have a chancellor. Like Germany, they also have a chancellor. The Austrian chancellor is, you could write this, Karl, K-A-R-L, Karl. I repeat, K-A-R-L, Karl Nehammer, N-E-I-H-A-M-M-E-R. I repeat, N-E-I-H-A-M-M-E-R. Hammer. Carl Nehammer. You could see in some places you'll find that that I is not there. It's okay, don't worry. Italy has a prime minister, a woman prime minister whose name is Giorgia Meloni. Giorgi. Giorgi Meloni. 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 Egypt. Abdel Fattah al-Sisi. Abdel, Abdel. Abdel Fattah, Fatteh. Fattah al-Sisi. ELL-SISI. Abdel Fattah al-Sisi. Name the centralized web portal recently launched by the Reserve Bank of India for swift access to unclaimed deposits. A lot of people have unclaimed deposits. I mean, they wouldn't know they have deposits. Sometimes they wouldn't know. So the spread awareness and everything. The RBI had launched multiple schemes, and not just spread awareness. They also have launched a portal, dedicated portal to claim, to put in a claim that look, my money is in that. I have not claimed at the end of the deposit period and all that. So what is the total of such unclaimed deposits? About 35,000 crore. 35,000 crore rupees are lying with banks, my friends. That money is unclaimed. Okay. Udgam's full. It has a full name. You could write this. Unclaimed. UD is unclaimed deposits. Unclaimed deposits. G for gateway. G for gateway. Unclaimed deposits gateway. To access, TO, to, A for access, 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 to access information, to access information, information, the M stands for information, somewhere the sound, information, so unclaimed deposits gateway to access information. Okay. Hey, that's all about me, from me. Bharat C. Jain. Have a lot of fun. Thank you for being here. Please use our magazine Current Affairs Cracker pretty well. There's a lot of current affairs in the magazine. Read as much as you can. Thank you for being here. Stay curious.